everyone, welcome to a video. This is a kind of like a get ready with me. I have a baby shower today and this is the look that I'm going to be wearing. It's super simple, super easy. Like, technically I'm actually late for the baby shower because it started at 1 and it's like 1:04. But anyways, not the point. Yeah. So, if you are new to the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can see more videos. If you actually like, you know, what you see, that would like to come back for more, you'll be notified if you subscribe. You can also hit that notification bell, and that will even tell you with a notification when I post another video. So, if you want to see how I got this natural-like look, keep watching. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. I couldn't find the palette that I was looking for. I have the Sugar Pill Valentine's palette they came out with this last Valentine's Day. While the palette itself is no longer available, you can still get the colors individually, but I'm going to actually use my Urban Decay Born to Run and maybe my my Dominique Cosmetics Latte palette. There's some really pretty sparkly colors, and it'd be perfect for this baby shower look. So let's go ahead and get started. Brush bag. I'm also going to be using a bunch of stuff out of my normal everyday makeup bag. So yeah, just go ahead and dive right in. First thing I'm grabbing, if I can find it, is my MAC Painterly Paint Pot to prime my eyelids. So, I haven't really posted much on YouTube lately, probably in over 2 years, looking at my statistics and such from my YouTube channel, and honestly, I spent, see here, not all, but a good portion of 2017 working overseas for my job, and then I spent all of 2018 trying to get my feet underneath me after working overseas because I had a really rough time with some of the guys that I worked with. Some of the other guys were awesome, and other times, a lot of the time, I got a lot of hard time from my coworkers and my superiors mostly. I'm just gonna pull out a makeup wipe here to kind of clean up as I go. So, okay. There's that. Over there. Let's see here. What do I want to start with? Let's open up my palettes and see what I've got to work with. Now, I did take this with me when I went down to Vegas with my girlfriends back in early 2018, and I loved it. I think it was this color, this macchiato color. You can see how reflective it is. It's gorgeous. So I might use a bit of that, I'm thinking. And then I may start with caramel, but I'm not exactly sure out of that palette. I've also got my Born to Run because I want some warmth as well. So I might work in these colors, maybe down here in these peachy colors, because I am wearing a black kind of like stretchy jersey dress and this red kind of like tweedy over sweater, because it is kind of still cold here, but it's starting to warm up, which is nice. But it's taking its sweet time to turn to spring. So while it's nice, it's still cool. And I have to dress a little on the warmer side, which I'm more than fine with. That's what happens when you live in the Pacific Northwest. So I'm going to start with a Morphe M514 brush. maybe my e.l.f. definer eye brush, maybe. Let's see what that's the one I want. I'm actually going to start with my Morphe eyeshadow brush, the M441. And I'm going to start with Weekender from my Born to Run palette, which is this color here. It's kind of just, for me it's a couple shades darker than my natural skin tone. Tap off the extra and just start buffing that into my crease area just to define that and take it down a little bit onto the outer V area. And I'm just, like I said, mapping out and buffing this in, just setting the map for myself. Now, I am pregnant, so we found out in October, September? October. End of September, beginning of October, that I was in fact pregnant. And then 3 days later, I started having some cramping in my lower abdomen that felt like premenstrual cramps. And I was worried that might be a sign that I was starting to go into a miscarriage. And so I went and saw a doctor, an OB, and they did an emergency ultrasound on me just to make sure everything was okay. And we found out we were having twins. So they looked like little Cheerios, and they were in like this tiny little quadrant of my uterus. It was, I started crying, honestly. My husband's only concern was that they were in the right place. So he's like, we'll get through the rest. I just need to know that they're in the right place. Like they're not, because he was thinking I was having, that I was maybe had an ectopic pregnancy, and he was concerned about that. And the doctor's like, oh yeah, no, you're fine. You're having 2 babies, and your uterus is having to grow a little bit faster than normal. And I'm like, oh, boo. I started crying. We have since found out that we're having girls, identical twin girls. I'm currently 29 weeks, and let's see, today's Saturday. 3 days. 29 weeks and 3 days. So we, we're in the final crunch time. Speaking of crunch time, I'm actually going to take the Dominique Cosmetics Pumpkin Spice, this kind of like warmy orange brown color, and a Morphe 514 brush. It's a smaller dome blending brush. And I'm tapping off the excess, and I'm going to actually focus this more on that inner crease here, into the deepest part of my crease area. So we actually have 7.5 weeks left to go, which some people might think is a bit early, but for those who have never had twins before, 37 weeks is considered full term with twins. So they don't like moms to go over that, just because it starts to cause a lot of complications for both mom and baby. And we're being cautious. My pregnancy has been super easy. I lost only 3 pounds my first trimester. I have since gained that back, plus an additional 12 pounds, so I've gained a total of 15 pounds since we found out. So yeah, I've gained 12 since my pre-pregnancy weight, but I'm really close to that 140 mark, which, thinking about it, when you're like my size, I'm 5 feet tall, and my heaviest weight was 125 pounds until I got pregnant, but seeing almost 140 on the scale. I never thought I would ever be excited to be 140 pounds. But I'm all bump. I really am. I'm seriously, like, there's me, and if you saw me from behind, you'd just think I was this tiny little girl, and then turn around and bam, there's the bump. So, the girls have definitely made their appearance. I had a small baby shower at my cousin's house, and that was the big one for like my family and stuff like that. We had saved revealing their names because it was very personal. We revealed their gender early on from the get-go because it wasn't so necessary for me to like do a gender reveal. Just because I didn't feel it necessary, but their names were really important to me. I'm also going to take a little bit of punk out of my Born to Run palette, and I'm going to use an e.l.f. Defining Eye Brush. It's the angled eyeshadow brush, and I'm going to actually focus on the point, picking up that pigment, and I'm going to focus this mostly on my outer V here, just to kind of add some depth and definition. And then I'm going to go back in with my Morphe 514 brush and really buff that in. Anyways, so we, in my family specifically, we pass on middle names. That is my family's tradition. At least from the fathers. So I have my own middle name, but my brother is named after, he has his dad's middle name, which is Lee, and at least my mom's side of the family passes on that middle name. My brother's dad got his middle name from his father's first name. My husband, on the other hand, he is named after his grandfathers. So he has a two-part first name, or two-part middle name. And he always thought that he was named after his we found out that only the first of his two middle names are after his grandfathers. So he has his father's first name, Edward. And then Ross, because his mother was obsessed with Days of Our Lives at the time, as most moms were. My grandmother used to watch Days of Our Lives all the time too, so I can't say anything. Alright, so there's that. Now I'm going to take this is a Morphe M124. I'm going to take a little bit of my MAC Lightful softening spray, but I'm going to use this to wet my brush a little. Or not. And I'm going to take the Macchiato color from the Dominique Cosmetics palette, Latte palette. And I'm going to apply this all over the lid. So when we were picking out baby names, we always knew, my husband and I, that we wanted kids. And so we actually were able to come up with a girl's name that we both liked pretty much from when we first started dating. So we chose Adelaide. We always knew we wanted a daughter named Adelaide. So, and then about a week or so later after we had chosen Adelaide, we decided that we would pass on a middle name, and because we thought we'd only have one baby at a time, and we chose to name after his grandmother because she was a really big influence on his life. And we chose her middle name, and it was Inez. So we went with Adelaide Inez. And so each of the girls has their own personal first names. Also, my mother-in-law used to be babysitter for this little girl named Francesca. Now, I've never met the girl. No idea who she is. Honestly. I'm going to go back into punk. I'm going to blend in the two on my lid there just to kind of make it more cohesive. I just really liked the name, personally. Francesca. And my grandmother was also a very big person in my life and knew that I wanted to would like to name a child after my grandmother. Her name was Nancy Jo. I'm also going to bring it a little bit into my deepest portion of my crease here to kind of like blend it in and help solidify my crease, but also help with that blending ability and make it more seamless and natural looking. As seamless and natural looking as you can go with having glittery eyes and, you know, deep brown crease. So, yeah. But, and my grandmother's name was Nancy Jo, like I said. My great-grandmother once told me the story of how she came up with my grandmother's name, because I'm always curious about that kind of stuff. Like, choosing your child's name is such a personal choice. Like, you just I'm actually going to go into Dominique Cosmetics. I'm going to pick up a little bit of this mocha. I'm going to blend it into my lower lash line. It's not as dark as Punk, but it's still going to add that depth in there and help my lower lash line actually appear on my face. But she told me that she once knew a girl named Nancy when she was going to school, and really liked the name, and knew that she wanted to name her daughter Nancy. And then her husband, my great-grandfather, my grandmother's father, his name was Joseph. And so she wanted to name, you know, because my grandmother was the firstborn, you know, my grandmother believed that we should name the firstborn after father. That was a big thing back then in the 40s, you know, where it showed honor to the father that way. So she named her Nancy Jo, and then didn't give her a middle name. So my grandmother has a, you know, had a two-part first name, and so I wanted to do that for my daughter, and I really liked Francesca, and Francesca Jo sounded better to me than Adelaide Jo for some reason. Like, especially when you shorten Francesca, you can call her Frank, or you know, Frankie, or Franny, or you know, things like that. And Frankie Jo sounds a lot like Nancy Jo, and so I went with that. This is a Seat London Wonder Wand gel coal liner. It's a double-ended one. I really like it, and it's almost gone, so you can see. But anyways, so that's the girls' names: Adelaide Inez and Francesca Jo. So Adelaide generally goes, when I refer to her, I either refer to her generally as either Adelaide or Lady. My husband wants to call her Addie, which is fine. People may confuse, especially when she starts school and she's going by Addie, may confuse her first name for being Addison, which is common, or some variant of Ad, whatever, but we chose to go with Adelaide just because we liked classic names, so we chose Adelaide and Francesca. Common enough that no one's gonna, you know, mispronounce their name, but not so common that they're gonna have another girl named after them, or have the same name. And depending on the girls' personalities is how they can choose to be, you know, called by their nicknames. So I'm using the L'Oreal Voluminous Butterfly Mascara in Blackest Black. I don't hate it. I don't love it. It's been in my mascara drawer for a while, and I'm just trying to get it up, use it up and get it out. So now I'm going to put on my brows, and I gotta hit the road because this baby shower is happening like now, and my husband keeps coming in, so, and reminding me that we're late. And I'm really just focusing on my sparser areas. I have pretty dense brows, but I used to pluck my brows in like a straight line, and so underneath area here, pretty thin. My view on brows is to try and get them to look as even as possible. So, yeah. There's that. For blush, I'm going to, where's the little trio I got? Here it is. I'm going to use this Trifle Cosmetics Raspberry Ripple Blush. They're supposed to be light enhancing, and they're just little sample shades. I'm actually going to go for these orangier tones here in the end, and I'm going to use my Wet n Wild P72 brush here, and I'm just going into both, tapping off the extra, and then working it onto my cheekbone and apples. Alright, so there's that. Next I'm going to hit my face with some setting spray. And this is the Refresh Hydrating Setting Spray by Kooky. Get this at Rite Aid for like $5. Get everything to melt in, and I'm done. So, I don't really wear a whole lot of lipstick right now just because my lips are so dry, so I'm going to throw on a little bit of lip gloss, or lip balm, call it a day. Simple, no fuss, hardly. For some people this is a no fuss. For me it's a no fuss, but this is kind of what I wear a lot more often than not if I'm wearing makeup. Usually just do my eyes, stuff like that, so. But yeah, I'm done. So until next time, if you have any questions, don't be afraid to put them down in the down bar or in the comments, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Until next time, guys.